So last time we talked about Marvel's newest fighting game, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, we went over a possible roster using the Marvel Rivals cast as sort of a buffer. In today's video, I want to go over a few characters that I want to personally see in the game. Again, this is my own personal list, so if you don't like what I have to say, write down your own list or make your own video on the subject. And if you think I forgot anyone, let me know. But without further ado, let's get into what I want to see personally in Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. At number 1, I have Sentry. Sentry has made his recent debut in the MCU, and I'm kind of glad that more people now know who he is. But he has very obscure gaming appearances. He's basically Marvel Superman. Can fly, have super strength, reality warping, molecule manipulation, immortality, a healing. He basically has it all. And he hasn't been in much games. The most I think he's been in is like a console exclusive on the PSP for Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2. Maybe a few mobile games, but who cares? But yeah, he has a lot of powers and can play like Arc System works in Justice Superman or Omni-Man. Of course, have him have a mixture of grapples and projectiles, and bam. Most of his appearances in the comics, he mostly depends on his overwhelming strength. And he, such as his fight with World War Hulk, I think with World Breaker Hulk, and he was able to defeat him to a standstill. And the boy could be a transformation midway in a fight if his health gets too low or if all his teammates are down, making his durability strength and all his attacks stronger, and giving him more different animations for how he goes at people, because the boy is just, Evil Sentry. And Evil Sentry is just him having a schizophrenic episode. But let's move on to number 2. Number 2, we got Wolverine. This man has been a huge part of the Marvel fighting games for a while, so it would be criminal not to have him in the game. Honestly, I think I can for certain say he is 90% in there, but let's talk about how they can improve on him since his last Marvel fighting game appearance. Most of his Marvel's Capcom moves transfer well to Arc System Works games, though his Berserker Rage can be when his health is dangerously low and less teammates are left on the field. The stronger it gets, much like in Marvel Rivals, he can have a lunge ability that can catch an opponent in the air and bring back the Swiss cheese attack from Marvel's Capcom 3 because I really like that attack. And bam, we got ourselves an upgraded Wolverine. Thank you for my TED Talk. At number 3, we got Blade. We were supposed to have him in Marvel's Capcom 3. But now we can have him here. Blade, of course, would play similar to Kai and Venom from Guilty Gear. Kai with his precise swordplay and projectiles, and him using throwing blades and his gun. There's also his vampire powers, which also can play a major part in how he plays, such as his super strength, his super speed, which should allow him to dash at opponents, and his limited shapeshifting and more. All I'm saying is we need to get the Daywalker into a fighting game, and we need it now. And no, Marvel Contest of Champions don't count. At number 4, we got Gambit. My personal favorite X-Man, with the only competing one being next on the list. Gambit has already made his fighting game appearance, and funny enough, he has a character that plays very similar to him in Under Night named Gordo, who uses a sit similar to how Gambit uses his staff. Of course, his playing card would be his projectiles keeping distance. My one suggestion on how to improve his playing card is turn it into a system. So we can choose how many we use at a time. We can have an attack that uses one playing card, it's faster but does less damage. Has an attack that uses 2 playing cards, a bit slower but has more impact. And the third would be a most powerful, releasing 3 cards and doing maximum damage. Also on the 2 playing card thing, it would be able to stun opponents and allow you to go into combos. So it would allow you to be it would essentially let you be able to think smarter, not harder. But yeah, I feel like we need to have Gambit back because we didn't really get him after Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which he would have fit so well in Marvel's Capcom 3. But Gambit being my favorite, I thought about him a lot in this game, so there's a lot more thought and effort than the other selections that I've chosen. At number 5, we got Rogue. Another character that's been my personal favorite X-Men. He actually might be above Gambit. And you can't have one without the other. You can't have Rogue without Gambit. Rogue is interesting in a fighting game as she has the power she absorbed from Carol Danvers, being her super strength, her flight, and just generally what makes her like a big hitter. But then she also has her absorption ability, which makes her versatile as she can pretty much be able to steal a character's moveset if she wants to. That's only if they allow her to steal the whole moveset and not just steal like a projectile and an uppercut like you could do in X-Men vs. Street Fighter. Combined with the like of her Marvel vs. experience, where she again had her power drain and could duplicate her opponent's level 1 in a projectile or grapple move, and she would gain some health after using that ability. She would have flight much like her X-Men vs. Street Fighter moveset, and she would be able to launch her opponent in the air, throw them in the air, and with each time she would gain a little bit of health across the screen transition. Also, again, she'd be able to duplicate whatever the main character, basically whatever characters on the screen that she's fighting, she'd be able to duplicate their ability if she's able to use her energy drain. But she can only do it if the main person's there. But that's all I can think of without making this video 45 minutes long. At number 6, we got Daredevil, the man without fear. And he also got a lot of good hands. Like, this man has a resume of hands he gives out. His last fighting game appearance was Marvel Nemesis, unless you count a mobile game, which, well, we don't count mobile games over here. Now, we can get real creative with his abilities, with his billy clubs, have it extend, because most of his billy clubs are kind of connected to each other through a rope, and you can use it to grapple enemies and opponents and drag them to you, and throw it at the opponent. Daredevil's radar sense works similarly, and actually it's been proven to be more powerful to how we see Spider-Man's spider sense work. Have him dodge out of attack or essentially use it to move in areas that most people can't move. He should also be able to like warn who's ever on the screen while they're fighting, like, hey, move out of the way. So yeah, you can be extremely creative with his character, and honestly, we just need to see the man without fear throw some hands in a fighting game that's proper. And you can have some really unique and fun combinations with him. But let's go on to number 7, because you can't have Daredevil without. And at number 7 we got, okay, I know that this list is severely lacking some villains, and if we're gonna add the man without fear, we gotta add his nemesis Bullseye as well. I don't think we have seen a throwing knife character in modern fighting games, but it could work. See, Bullseye is such an expert marksman that he can use anything, and I mean anything, as a weapon. Like, there's a comic book where he literally used a baseball, normal baseball, and he shot it out like a bullet. So he would be proficient in air and on the ground with any projectile. Cool feature would have him be able to switch projectiles mid-match, so you can have him throw a knife, baseball, even like a rock, and it would do a massive amount of damage the closer or the farther away an enemy is. But that's all I can really think for Bullseye. Yeah, he's a skilled combatant, so of course being up close and his punches and stuff would feel more personal. And you gotta have a grab move where he references when he stabbed Elektra. And at number 7 we got, at number 8 we have Carnage. This list wouldn't be complete without a symbiote and my personal favorite Spider-Man villain, Cletus Cassidy. Carnage, I imagine he would be a more savage version of Venom, being able to use his tendrils to grab opponents from anywhere on the screen, whether on the ground or sky, and he'd be able to shift and shape his body into different weapons. Now, I don't remember if it's canon or not, especially now in recent comics, because Noah pretty much changed up Carnage's whole entire moveset and power set, and currently Eddie Brock is, well, Carnage. But it would be dope if he had the energy absorption power from the 90s animated series, but I think he only had that because he was being controlled by like Dorothy Mamu or the Beyonder. It was one of those. But it would be nice to see Carnage back into a fighting game, or in a fighting game anyway, because he hasn't been in much. But yeah, that's who I would want to see at the number 9 spot, or number 8 spot. At number 9, we have Nightcrawler. I feel like we all want to see Nightcrawler in a fighting game for a while. Like, I know I'm not the only one that wants to see him in some type of fighting game. This would be the perfect chance, as, again, Marvel only have to focus on their roster. So Nightcrawler's teleporting ability can be done so creatively, allowing for him to get the jump on opponents and to actually be a juggler, if you really want to be honest. To keep his opponents in the air or on the ground by easily just teleporting behind them, getting behind them, and slashing them with his 3 swords. Which, come on now, they gotta put the swords in there if they put them in there. You can see him be more creatively using his tails, such as throwing people across the screen and whipping them back. Plus, you know, the main goal is we getting some more X-Men representation, because it doesn't hurt, especially after last fighting game we didn't get that many. But I digress. At number 10 we have the Punisher. This character in today's climate is complicated, but I'm gonna ignore all that. Fuck that. And talk about how he could be fit in this game. And I say a combination of Chris Redfield from Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Lucky Chaos from Strive. Punisher has a massive arsenal of weapons, similar to Chris Redfield, but his military training allows him to have impressive fighting skills as well. We've seen him go up against heavy hitters and big characters like street characters like Spider-Man, so I feel like he'd fit just fine. And the Lucky Chaos part comes if they add a revolver. See, Lucky Chaos had an aiming system in Strive, so it could transfer over to Frank Castle pretty fucking well. In recent comics, he's been working with the hand, and he uses magic swords. It can be implemented or referenced, but I don't expect it to be. But yeah, I'd love to see him in the game. I haven't really played the Punisher in a fighting game, but it'd be nice to see it. At number 11, we got X-23. I think Laura Kinney, aka X-23, aka the all-new, all-different Wolverine, has earned her spot in the Marvel Fighting Souls and the Marvel Fighting games in general. She would play exactly like her MVC3 counterpart, maybe adding a few new moves, so we can have more of her being a different character from Wolverine, but her gameplay style in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 fits an art system work game perfectly well in my opinion. There's not much I can really say on Laura being in the game besides, yeah, it's literally just making her Marvel vs. Capcom 3 counterpart. At number 12 we have Dr. Octopus. Hear me out on this one. We always had Venom or Carnage, but never any of Spider-Man's other villains like Shocker or Rhino, or my pick, Dr. Octopus. And he could really have unique compared to most characters in this game. Now we could have him on the ground and have him grab opponents and slam them similar to someone like Brainiac from Injustice 2, or make it tentacles knock people into the stage transition. It's just, Arc System can be really creative with him, and I want them to at least give him a try. Give him a shot, because Capcom didn't give him a shot. They were going to for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, but he was another canned character. At number 13, Apocalypse. When it comes to big baddies we haven't seen in a while, Apocalypse would be amazing to make his return onto a fighting game. And him being playable would be the icing on the cake. Really got to play with him through hacks and through other means, but with his size alteration, telekinesis, Arc System work, has one of the most versatile characters to work with. At number 14, we have the Silver Surfer. Again, another planned and canceled Marvel vs. Capcom 3 pick because the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 did not have enough power to support him. But we have the technology, as Patrick has said. So to add him in, now the power of Cosmic is so diverse in what you can do with it. And I know our system work can come out with some type of moveset. You don't have to center all his attacks using the board. Even if you only use it for his special attacks, because the Silver Surfer is a cosmic being, the power isn't only tethered to the board. Honestly, I just want to see him in a fighting game, because it's such a unique character that has gotten screwed over because nobody has found a way to implement him in the game. But that's my number 14 pick. Get this man in there. At number 15, and the last one we have, at least for this video, Black Cat. I know, not a super exciting pick for you guys. You guys were expecting like Super Thanos content or Adam Warlock. Nah, I'm picking my favorite. But she's my favorite supporting character for Spider-Man and just in general. Plus, I would love to see them implement the Cat Burglar-like character in an Arc System Works game. She would play like a combination of Catwoman from Injustice and of course Felicia from Darkstalkers, using a whip like Catwoman and claw attacks similar to Felicia. And they could find some way to implement her good luck powers or bad luck powers depending. And I would love to see the interesting combination of moves with her and Spider-Man and her and other characters that she's met up with. This is my number 15, and I'm sticking with my gun. Y'all can be mad in the comment section all you want. Y'all can be like, we waited here for 15 picks and he picked Black Cat. Yes, that's my number 15. If you don't like it, I don't care. This was fun. So in conclusion, I know this was a longer video, but I'm trying out a new format for some more quality over quantity videos. So yeah, tell me how you guys like it and tell me how you guys like the format. And yes, there will be a part 2 and a part 3 of this video for me to sort of, because I know I left out a lot of good characters. And knowing that I can only have to focus on Marvel characters, there's a lot more that I want to tell about. Like, I know I tried to cut it up into like characters we know for sure are going to be in the game, characters we know for sure haven't been in a fighting game or haven't really been in like a Marvel versus game. I tried my best to kind of diversify the list. I'm not about to re-record that, but I'd like to thank you guys for sticking with me through this list. Like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for more. Peace, and let your heart be your guiding key. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.